from starting a brand new social media account with less than 1K followers gained in 30 months, or I think it was around there. And in those 30 days, how did I manage to turn a fresh account, no previous knowledge, nothing, into $7,000 worth of gross revenue for my digital media product? That's what I'm going to be explaining to you guys. I'm going to be giving you an outline of what you should follow, how I did it, and the keys to my success, and what I want you to take away from this video. Okay. So again, this is all organic. This was my first month I ever did when I started selling my digital media product. And I want to start this off by saying this isn't just selling anything. Part of the reason that I was able to sell so much is because I was really good at what I did. I was really good at being able to show value, which is something I'm going to be discussing in a little bit, to my viewers. I was really good at explaining and being very articulate about what they needed to do, how they could follow this XYZ. You can't just bullshit. Like, there's a really negative stigma around selling stuff at the moment, and it's very, understandable. Like 75% of the people just sell shit, not even gonna get you any results or anything. It's understandable, but this isn't something you can follow if you're just trying to hop in with no experience. You need to have an expertise in what you're trying to sell, or else you're not gonna see these numbers. So if you think this video is, I'm gonna hop in, I'm gonna follow this, and I don't know what I'm doing, I just want to become a course guru, I'm sorry, bro. We're gonna have to hop off this video. All right, this is for those of you who are in whatever niche you're in. You have a very good understanding of the market. You have a very good understanding of what your service you're providing is. You have results of that. You have a track record of it. You can prove yourself, and you are an authority in whatever you're teaching. Okay. So now that it's out of the way, let's start from the top. As getting into what you're selling, you have to know who your offer and what your customer is. I can't really tell that. This is a very broadly marketed video. I'm saying, this is applicable to anybody in any niche who wants to sell any digital product. I can't identify that for you as the viewer. I don't know who you are. You have to do a couple things when you're trying to sell something. You have to show your difference in the market, or maybe you're selling something that you don't even think exists or isn't very well marketed, and then you have to have a clear goal for your service. So I'll use what I'm doing as an example. I want to help people start their or grow their social media organically if they have no experience and they're starting from scratch. How is that service different from what other people are doing? All of the big digital media marketing companies, they want to start with the big guys already. They say, if you're making 25 grand a month, I'll get you to 50. Or if you're making 10 grand a month, and you're kind of left in the dust here. My job is, again, how did I do this within 1 month? How did I get this all going? That is my offer to you guys. Okay, so I'm using my perspective as an example for how my service is different. What's the goal? My goal is to get you guys off the ground. Okay, I want to see you guys churning out numbers really quickly, immediately not having to feel like numbers equal revenue, which it doesn't, and I'm going to go into that a little bit later. But how you can start, what do you need to start? Okay, so you have to have those things really articulately thought out. Again, I can't really do that for you guys, but if I don't know you. But the main thing that is going to build attraction and is going to make your views worth something, and that's why I just mentioned that views don't necessarily equal revenue, is value. What are the people getting out of the content that you're watching? You can get 100,000 views and it can be, for nothing if it doesn't prove, or if it doesn't give anything to the viewer. Right? Very common misconception. If you're trying to sell a trading service, because that's what I'm familiar with, if you're trying to provide a trading mentorship and you're making memes and you get 100,000 views making a trading meme, what does that have to do with any sort of value to the viewer? They got a laugh out of it, they liked it, and they scrolled. What does that have to do with your service or your offer? And not even that, but sometimes your videos might be shit and they might do bad because there's no value and people just scroll. Maybe they're like, I don't really care about your shit meme, I'm gonna scroll, right? So how do you provide value And there's a couple different ways I do it. Again, this is starting up from pretty much scratch. So the main forms that you're going to need to start is that you actually can't really look at live streaming immediately. You do need a following on TikTok to get that live stream. Somehow I got it when I was like I applied for it when I had beneath 1,000 followers, and I believe that's if you have X amount of views on short form or X amount of followers. Okay. So how do you provide value in short form? Well, a lot of you guys, I'm assuming, are coming from my TikTok. In my short form TikTok video, in my, my minute long video, I said, this is how I started a fresh social media account and I turned that into $7,000 worth of paid clients. And I showed you guys the overview of this. I provided you guys value by giving a super short spiel. Oh, that was a tongue twister. A super short spiel on how I did that. And what else did I do during that time? I asserted myself as authority. I showed the numbers. I showed the proof. You guys want to listen to me because of that. So in the first 20 seconds, or the first, when I'm using my hook, you guys probably haven't bumped into me before. Actually, you haven't, because this is my first YouTube video and that was my first TikTok. I made a very strong introduction. I asserted myself as an authority, and I provided you guys value. Hence the reason you guys are probably watching this video. Right? From that short form, you really need to provide something they can take away for the video, and you need to do it. And like I said, you need to articulate yourself. You need to be able to get your message across the table so that all of your viewers can understand it. And then you need to have really good hooks and everything as well. If you know, the whole point of short form is that it's short form. Everyone has TikTok brain. They want to scroll, scroll, scroll. If you don't show something worthy or something valuable within the first couple seconds of the video, maybe not even that, I mean, the viewer is gone. Okay, so you need to have something worth listening to. And there are certain things that I'm going to teach you, and the things that, that's the service I provide, is how can you maximize the value to get the highest quality viewers and to get your numbers up, right? So again, both of these things are checked out under value. What can you do with the short form? No one's gonna buy your content, your course, your product, your service from a 30-second TikTok video. They need to see more. They need to see more authority. They need to see that they need more value. They need to know that you know what you're talking about and you're not some random guru, right? And that's especially hard to do nowadays because everyone and their mother can sit in a rented Lambo and in Miami and pretend they know what they're doing. But I mean, if you actually provide value in your short form, you don't have to rent a fucking Lambo. You can just show you know what you're talking about, and you can show the numbers, right? So, what can you do from that? If they're not going to buy it, you can take them to the free trial. Again, if you've provided really valuable content, they're going to want to know more. They're going to say, I'm not going to buy anything, but I'm interested in your community. In this community, you can have PDFs. You can say, if we have, maybe 1,000 members hit, I'll do a free class or da 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 da. You still want to warm them up. Again, providing value and authority, showing that you know what you're talking about, showing you're a trusted source, showing that they want to move forward with you. Okay? And in this free community, they should be able to see that. Right? They should be like looking through a glass window. They should be window shopping. They should see the results of your other students. They should see the success that your service is providing. They should see your success. So you need to have testimonials. You'll need to have results. And again, like I said, if you guys are trying to watch this to bullshit people, how can you do that without showing objective results? Okay. And again, what are these testimonials tied back to? What is PDFs tied back to? What is all this tied back to? Right? Value. Why does the viewer want to continue watching? Right? Or what you can do from your short form, get them to a long form, like what I did for you guys. You guys were really interested in my content, I'm assuming, if you're still watching this video thus far, or to this point. You want a more in-depth breakdown of what you saw in the short form. I had a really good introduction. Now I want to dive deeper, thus providing more value. Do you guys see what the gist is? It all ties back to how well can you show that you know you're talking about, and how valuable is it to the viewer, right? If the viewer doesn't get anything out of the content they're going to watch, why would they watch it? You know? And if they are watching it out of something for, humorous value or entertainment, that is irrelevant to converting into a buyer, right? So that's your short form and your long form and why they're important. I didn't dive too deep into long form, but they're super leveraged because, like I said, you can continue to cycle your free community members or your short form members into YouTube videos to give them more value, give them more authority. It's just a cycle, right? You're kind of just running them through value until it's built up enough, or they're familiar enough with your content and your style and your testimonials, showing you know what you're doing to the point where they want to, move forward. Now, what is the cherry on top of everything is your live stream. The live stream's got to be the reason why I hit these numbers so quickly. I wish you could live stream off rip, but you just can't do that. And also, what I want to say is it's not hard to hit like 1,000 followers. It's really not. If you're making really good short form content, you can hit 1,000 followers, or you can hit your goal to live stream like so quick. So don't worry about that. But it isn't instant. I can't pretend like it is. But your live stream is pretty much getting rid of all of this stuff. Yes, it's an introduction, and they might not buy it immediately, but you can provide an extreme source of authority and authenticity by interacting on a live stream. If you go on a live stream and you're talking about, or you're even just like, I'm trying to think of an example of what niche someone might be in. Maybe like, I don't know, you want to teach somebody how to code. I don't know. I'm just showing you the fact that you can literally sell anything as long as you have a track record and you're an expert of it. You're trying to teach somebody how to code. If you're sitting in a stream and you are showing some super advanced shit, I don't even know what you would do for coding, but if you are actively demonstrating your the goal of your service and a viewer comes around and they're like, "Oh, that is super cool. I want to know how to do that," or "I'm at this level in I think coding was a shit example. That's my bad. But I'm a beginner doing this and I want to know how to do or how to get to your level." Or how about this? I'm a freshman in college and I'm studying computer science. I want to know more. How do you so fluidly do this? Again, sorry, shit example. I don't know what I'm talking about. But you get to be insanely authentic. You get to react with your audience. This is like amplified value. I can't even exaggerate how valuable a live stream is. You get to automatically eliminate all of the questions that they would have going through, these funnels, right? You don't have to take them from short form to long form to free community. You can, I mean, sure, they'll still do that, and there's obviously no guarantee they're gonna buy your stuff from a live stream either, but the chances of it are so much higher because you're taking them through all of this stuff live time. You don't have to wait for them to book an onboarding call to answer their questions. If they ask a question in the chat, you reply very politely and very articulately, and you help them out. Again, you provide value. They're going to say, "That's awesome, man." They're going to want to engage with you. They'll maybe follow you. And also, the TikTok algo is really good for pushing the content and stuff, right? So it's automatically your first touch point is just super valuable with a TikTok stream. Um, and again, if you're structuring your live streams correctly, which is stuff that I'll talk about more later on, it's not like you can just turn on a TikTok live stream and do fucking nothing. Again, you have to provide value on your live stream. I'll talk more about how to do that in another video, and it's also, part of the service that I offer. But all of that, from that, you can literally plug your service straight away. If they're already like, "Man, I really want to know more about this," or "You're so good at doing this," or, I'm going to mention trading because that's the niche I'm in and it's what I'm familiar with. You hit a crazy trade, you make money on stream, and you can articulate why and you explain your strategy. People are going to want to know how. They watched it happen live. They feel as though, yeah, sure, maybe they still want to go check this stuff out, but there is a higher likelihood of just saying, "If you want to know more, I offer the service of XYZ. If you want to know more, message me on TikTok and we'll hop in a call." This is where we get to the final piece, onboarding. How do we convert all of the stuff we talked about? How do we get a number or a viewer into this number? Well, this is where the second most important aspect is your onboarding. How good are you at selling your service face to face, right? Yes, your short form is good. All this, no one's gonna buy a $750 product through a link, they're going to want to meet with you first. Or maybe if they are, it's a higher likelihood of them actually pursuing it if you have an onboarding call, right? You are hopping in this call and you are capitalizing on all of the knowledge they've gained from all this, right? They're already familiar with your content. They should already be trusting of you. They should already know that you are good at the service you're providing. You want to know if this is a good fit, okay? Or you want to address some of their questions with relating to pricing or if they want to pursue it, right? The reason onboarding calls are so good is because normally when people have questions or they're like, oh, maybe I don't know about this, and there's only a link to, buy your product, they're just gonna like let it simmer. They don't have an answer to the question. If you're in an onboarding call, they can ask you that question and you can address it. So the whole point of your call is you need to know what their questions are. You need to know what their thoughts are on your product. You need to know if there's any concerns. You have to start off your onboarding call by asking questions. Okay. Hey man, I really appreciate you taking the time to show interest in my clothing. My clothing brand, or you want to grow your clothing brand, and I've done that too, and you want to pursue it, and you want to know how I did it. Before I go more in depth into the offer and the mentorship or what I'll be teaching you, to get to my point, I want to know more about you. Have you tried to launch a brand before? Do you have any social media presence? Da 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 da. What is stopping you from reaching your goal? Okay, that is going to allow you to capitalize on all of their issues during this call. You need to strictly address it. If you're going into an onboarding call and you're just saying, yeah, my service is really good, my students make a lot of money doing this, I've also made a lot of money doing this, I think you can too, kind of, what are they going to get out of that, right? You need to directly address the concerns. And if you don't know what the concerns are, how can you address it? So you find out the concerns by asking the questions. Okay? And once you understand that, that's what the basis of your onboarding call is going to be. If they say, I've really struggled with create or finding a source for my clothes. Again, I'm sorry, I'm just using random examples. I don't know what it's called. Or having trouble finding a manufacturer for my drops, and that's what's been the issue. You can say, hey man, I've been in that exact place. That's why I have XYZ outlined in this mentorship or in this course or whatever it may be to directly address the solution. You've asked the question, you found the solution, and in your service, you should have a direct solution to that. And if you don't, you need to reassess your situation. If you're offering a service and it doesn't meet some of the criteria for what the customer needs, you're not providing a good service. Okay, you should have answers to all of your customers' objections, and if you can't, you need to go back to step one, right? But I'm gonna assume that using this example, you do have a good service. Um, but if not, I mean, like I said, the whole point of this framework is that it's a framework. This isn't too in depth. I don't go, I haven't talked about how to make a good offer, how to make really high quality short form content. The point is to give you an outline. That's what this video is, right? Um, and then once you've addressed all of their solutions, they should feel really confident. Again, being built up through all the content, they really trust you. They know you're good at what you do, and then you've just cherry on top. You've just addressed all the problems with the product that you're selling. You should have the green light to try and get a sale done, right? So how much is this going to cost? The reason I did these numbers is because I didn't have a base price. This might sound crazy, and I'm not saying you need to sell for free or undervalue your service. If you're selling a mentorship, try and get a couple $100 out of it for a couple months or something like that. It can't be anything too crazy. The reason is, I mean, you just need sales. You need to get these testimonials if you have no one in the server. Okay, and it also creates a super transparent process for the pricing. A lot of the people, when I called them for the service I sold, they really appreciate the fact that I said, hey man, I don't have a base price. I'm trying to accommodate you. They really appreciate that, right? That makes them, again, cherry on top. They're really happy with the service. They're really happy with your transparency. They think you're a good guy. You're a super authentic person. And now you're willing to negotiate the price with them. Like, you've pretty much sealed a deal, right? Sure, it's not going to be a high ticket sale, and even if your product is worth a couple grand, you're only going to get it for maybe a grand or a couple $100. You've still secured a deal with nothing. Remember, my goal teaching you this model isn't to make 25 grand a month, it's to get you from zero to on the road. So you have to remember what this is for again. This isn't, I'm not telling you um you're gonna make a shit ton of money with this and this is the long-term solution. This is the beginning, okay? I'm not trying to tell you what to do long term. This is what you need to do to get off the ground, or it's what I did, right? So obviously this is a wicked sales price, and some salesman is probably cringing listening to me mention this, but this is what I did, and it's really helpful getting off your feet. Again, getting your testimonials, getting your experience, knowing that the content in your service is actually good, and you have to be a really good mentor, or you have to be I mean, you have to do your job really well. If you sell them something and they're not happy, that's not good. So you really need to capitalize on the first for your mid ticket or the people in the premium. These guys are acting kind of like trial members in a way, right? You need to know that your pre-recorded content is good. You need to know the structure of what you're doing is good. You need to keep in touch with them if you're in the mentorship. You need to keep on top of, holding them responsible. You need to fulfill your order really well, right? So, that pretty much takes you through the basic outline. And keep in mind, this is an outline. You don't know how to create good short form content. You don't know how to create long form content. You don't know what to do in your live stream. You don't know how to set up your free community. But now this should give you an outline and a roadmap for things you need to work on and what you should be looking forward to do if you're starting from scratch, if you are just trying to get on your feet, right? So again, if you're already experienced with your niche, you've already been selling your digital product for a long period of time, this isn't for you. I'm not going to pretend like it is. This is for people that were in my position, fresh accounts. They haven't ever sold something before, but they know what they're doing, then bang, this is for you guys. All right. And I didn't even address this. You're not going to hit every sale, obviously. Not every onboarding call is going to convert, but for like I said, for your first students, you're doing something wrong if you're not converting on 80% of the people you're talking to. That's an issue with your pitch and your sales call, which is something I can help you guys with. But if you're not converting, like I said, if we're literally negotiating prices and we're still not getting a sale, that's a problem. So I can help with that, but if you don't get that sale, your goal is to recycle them, right? Put them right back through all of this stuff. Say, hey man, unfortunate, we couldn't work something out. Please capitalize on the long form content. Please keep up with my TikToks. Interact in the community. And then at one point, like I said, once you start getting people in and they're starting to see the value in the free community and they're window shopping and they're seeing the success, then they'll rethink it and they'll be like, you know what, this guy was right. This is really what I need. Da 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 da. You just recycle, refilter them. Okay. So that was a very brief outline. What I did to start from 0 followers with no experience to literally getting 7 grand in the same month from when I started my account. Pretty crazy stuff, but this is the outline for what I did. And I hope this outline gives you an idea of where to start and what you need to work on if you're thinking about starting selling a digital product or anything of that nature. Okay. So that's going to do it for this video. As I said earlier, or as I explained, I actually have a free community. So if you guys want to join that, you can use the link in bio to join the free community. You guys can reach out to me there, shoot me messages with some questions, and leave feedback on this video, because I mean, this is my first video doing content like this. So, subscribe, turn on your notifications, because I am going to be posting more long form content. Provide, what am I going to do for you guys? I'm going to give you value, right? So keep your eyes out for that, and that's going to wrap up this video.